Everybody, it is 13 minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to Great Day for this
Smiles.
Wednesday. See that? More smiles than any other program, period. As we welcome Dr. April Oxendale back to the desk once again. It's Wellness Wednesday and time to learn something else about the human body here, courtesy of Alignright Chiropractic. And
awesome.
You brought my buddy Skull here. Why?
I did. We're going to talk about TMJ today.
Tell everybody who this is.
This is Ollie's head.
Ollie's head.
The head of
Okay,
Ollie.
that's the skeleton that we met.
Yes, I was going to bring him, but then I thought people might be concerned when I beheaded him.
That's true too, yeah.
It's unsettling because
But
the
we have
kids are home.
the Shakespeare on the Lawn's coming up this weekend, so that's it'd be perfect timing. But explain why you brought Ollie's head.
So we're talking about TMJ dysfunction or jaw pain or
TMJ. What is that? What does
The
that stand?
temporomandibular joint. It's the hinge here at the jaw.
Yeah.
Lots of times people
Right here?
experience. Yes, right.
The hinge.
It's back here by the ears.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay.
That's actually where, if you put your finger there and open, you should be able to feel
Feel it move.
Yeah, I do.
Now everybody at home is doing that too.
Everybody's moving the jaw. Okay.
So lots of times people will experience either jaw clicking or popping sensations. Sometimes they experience pain with it. It can actually lead to headaches. It can have neck pain, muscle spasms. The bite can be off instead of the teeth being aligned. It can be, when they open and the jaw can deviate to the left or to the right.
Now, do you have an adjustment screw or anything that you can put in there to get that tightened up?
Well,
or?
you can adjust it manually. Yep, with the hands or an activator.
This is a painful thing to have.
It can be a little painful, yes, depending on how bad the problem is. In the jaw itself, there's an articular disc right in through here. It's just you can see here on the camera, there's a little disc that's in there. And so when the jaw opens and closes, that disc moves forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Well, sometimes it can stick in the forward position, and then that's when you got problems.
I was wondering how that
So do you just whack it with a hammer, or how do you?
You can actually, there's several different adjustments you can do to it. You can pull down and out on the jaw a little bit. You can use an activator to adjust it here.
How do you,
Yeah.
What do you mean an activator?
An activator, it kind of looks like a small plunger. It just delivers a quick impulse. I use it a lot on the elderly.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So on this picture here, there is showing that disc, and when the jaw opens and closes, like I said, that disc slides forward and back and forward and back. And when it sticks forward, then the cartilage behind it actually gets stuck where the disc is, and that's when you experience pain.
The human body is really disgusting.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, when this happens one time, is that an indication that this is going to happen more often?
It can. You really have to work on fixing the problem, and to fix the problem, you have to figure out what the problem is first. There's tons of muscles around the jaw too. There's a masseter muscle along the side here, in the cheek. There you can see the masseter muscle from here down to here. It's a major chewing muscle.
The cheek muscle. Okay.
Yes.
I think is it the strongest bone in the body? I remember reading that once. I could
The
be full of
masseter.
it.
Yeah, it's one of them. And then the temporalis muscle is a smaller, thinner muscle, but it can still get trigger points in it and cause pain. The ones that are actually really pain-causing are the muscles on the inside. So there's jaw muscles on the very inside, and if you chew on the left side more than the right side, then you get an imbalance of muscles. And so you actually can go in with a finger and stretch those muscles out, which is not very pleasant, but it's effective in the end.
Okay.
So you do all that?
I do.
So how did they talk you into doing that over at school? I don't know if I'd put up with that. I'm not a dentist.
You have to have a lot of trust in your patient too, because if you're stretching those muscles on the inside,
Bite your finger off.
it's tender, and you just have to remind them, if this hurts, you need to give me a hand sign or like don't be biting my fingers off.
Every time I've ever gone to the chiropractor, I'm one of those people who wait till I'm in pain. But when I'm there, I've never had pain. And when I leave, I've always felt better. So I don't feel like, if you've never had chiropractic care, it is not something you go in and you're going to feel, generally you wouldn't feel pain while you're there. So I've never been nervous about going in. If I had a problem, I'd think it would be pretty simple to take care of.
It can be, but the pain sensation, sometimes you can be sore afterwards just because the muscles are trying to figure out what you've just done. And with jaw pain too, C1 and C2, the top two vertebrae, the C1 actually sits right underneath here. So if that's rotated, it can cause some hindrance on that jaw. So
that
take
might
a
be
look
part
at
of
the
the
neck
problem too, then, isn't it?
Yep.
So you just have to do a full alignment then, don't you?
There's a lot of stuff that you look for. We check for, have them open and close their mouth to see if one side's opening quicker or if it's locking up, to see if the jaw is moving to the left or to the right. You really have to isolate what the problem is and then attack it from there.
And the first sign that something's wrong, a headache, you said?
It can be a headache. It can be something as simple as it clicks a lot, like the jaw clicks on one side. You notice it while you're chewing. There are some signs and symptoms. You can have shoulder and neck pain, ear pain, headaches. A lot lot of people will experience pain around the temples, and they just assume it's a headache.
If you're making that face, that's a bad sign.
That's a bad
Yeah.
sign, yeah. And then the can't open the mouth wide, or you can't close it because if one side is sticking or if it's locking. And then the bite occlusion is if it's not straight up and down. You take a look at your teeth alignment.
Okay.
And how many sessions do you think it would take to straighten something like that out?
Depends on what the problem is.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3 or 4. It just depends on if we're working with the muscle issues or if we're just working with that disc, or if it's just a simple misalignment of the jaw, if it's just kind of shifted one way or the
Okay, so
other.
what if you're experiencing this popping or this clicking and there is no pain associated with it whatsoever?
So sometimes the popping and clicking, when that disc slides forward, the piece that comes in to fill it, you'll have pain for a while, but then eventually it almost becomes like a pseudo disc and the pain goes away. So the popping and clicking could be that you're just catching the problem right away, or it could be that you've had the problem for a while and now it's more chronic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
So
Interesting. All right. Well, didn't know you guys did all this, but
Yeah,
tell everybody
no
where
kidding.
your practice is located.
82nd and Hickman and Clive. They're at the phone number there is 278-4676. You can find me on Facebook, or my website is
I
myalignright.com.
know exactly where that is.
And if anybody has any questions or wants me to cover any topics in a couple weeks, you can send me an email through the website.
Or if you're in the grocery store and you're walking down the
That's
aisle,
right.
like, hey, you're Dr. April. And
Say hello.
And she'll say hi to you, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thanks.
It is 9:20. You're watching Great Day Live.